Good day to one and all. This is Dr. Sivaraman of iknowindices.com. I'll be giving now the Asian Session Live Market Analysis and the Forecast webinar as a review webinar of what the forecast I have given it on 23rd of January, that is Monday. And today we are on 27th of January. Between this 5 and 5:30 GMT, I am going to review the forecast, what I have given it, and also explain to you how exactly the market is moving in tandem with the forecast, so that you will be able to understand the reliability of the forecast. Besides, I'll also talk about that of the market reading and the live market analysis, so that you will be able to understand how we can fine-tune the forecast and use it for our trading. In the event if the market goes against our expectations, what sort of trading strategy we can use, and thereby we will be able to consistently earn money from the other market, we need to know. So that also I'll explain it by giving the recommended trades for you, which may be tried in demo trading platform. Now with regard to the forecast, what I have given it on Monday, they made the gains in the case of Euro and GBP, and substantial gain they made in the month on Tuesday and also Wednesday in the case of GBP, more when compared to that of Euro. Then they started making the slide, and yesterday they made the drop and then made a small firm up towards close and again made the dip during start. But here you come across that Euro came down below that of the initial low what they set on Monday, and in the case of GBP, after the gain it has made a nominal drop and then gained. And then in the case of USDN, we have seen when Euro and GBP are gaining, USDN was dropping. Then subsequently USDN gained the levels on Wednesdays and Thursday, and they are holding it and continue to gain, and they have gained in the case of Euro and GBP as well. So this is what I explained to you, that they will make the regular US dollar weakening and the US dollar gaining move, then followed by that they will make the contrarian move in order to gain the levels in the case of yen crosses. So this we need to understand, and in that process they also just to reverse in the case of commodities, and thereby you come across the commodity crosses also make a visible drop. So these sort of moves, they do it in order to handle both the majors and the crosses, that we can easily fine tune with the help of the forecast and also the market reading technique. Then today they are expected to make a dip, and they made that set the low, and then they are expected to rise the levels in the case of Euro and GBP, and they could gain the level in the case of Euro to start with, followed by the GBP. As you see, the net change in the case of Euro is less negative when compared to that of GBP. So this is how they make the moves, as I explained to you, and they will hold the higher levels in the case of USDN, and then gain some more and gain the levels along with that of Euro and GBP in order to gain more levels in the case of Euro yen and GBP yen cross, and also Aussie yen cross. So you have to watch it carefully and then trade accordingly when you are trading in that of the crosses. Then they are expected to gain more levels during that of the European session and slowly gain the level, swing and gain during that of the US session. So a swing means they will make a small dip and then induce the long holders to liquidate in a hurry, and later on they will firm up to a close for the weekend. And next week you come across the monthly trend reversal time. So 2 days of January and 3 days of February will be there during that particular time. So automatically you come across the monthly trend reversal happens in this 5 trading days, and when it happens to be 5 trading days, the market normally happens to be more volatile during those 5 days rather than the last week and the first week of the old month and the new month. So whenever you come across 10 trading days during that of the monthly trend reversal time, the moves will be optimal or moderate. But whenever you come across the trend reversal is limited to 1 week, then they will be very aggressive. So you can watch carefully and then trade accordingly during this particular time frame. Now, with regard to the levels in which the currencies were expected to swing, you find that estimated low, mathematically estimated low was 1.0625, but they came down to 1.0657 and then they gained initially and then dropped and started gaining the levels now. In the case of GBP, they did not drop much, but they gained, went up to that 1.2670 area and then started coming down, and they are expected to gain more levels today towards close. And in the case of yen, the estimated low was 113, they came down to 112.53 and then they have gone to 115 now, and towards close they are expected to gain some more level. And in the case of CHF, 99.50 was the expected low, they came down to 99.60 and then went up to 1.0027, and next week again they will be oscillating in this range. And in the case of Canadian dollar, it was trading around at 1.33 and from them they came down to 1.3053 and then started gaining the levels in line with that of the expectations. And the case of Australian dollar, they came down to 75.15, the estimated low was 75.50 and then started gaining, and again they come closer to the low. So they are making the swings here in the case of Aussie as well as Canadian dollar, mainly to handle the crosses. And later on, they are expected to make more gaining moves in the case of Australian dollar and drop in the case of Canadian dollar during next week. So they will be very aggressive in a sequential trend reversal during the next week. You know that they handle the commodity crosses to start with, then followed by the commodities. Then later on they will come to that of yen and yen crosses, then the majors, and finally the European crosses. That sequential trend reversal will happen during next week. At that time they will be very aggressive in making moves in the commodity pairs to start with, and contrarian moves could be seen along with that of Euro and GBP during that time. And later on they will come to that of yen also in an aggressive way, yen and yen crosses. Then finally you will come across the majors and the European crosses they will handle. So keep in mind the data release, etc. They could be used only as an attribute for such moves, but the players have got a determined move, and that is what I was telling you. And last week also many were expecting that Euro and GBP could weaken further because of the new presidency but in US. But then subsequently I noticed that the players started making their own moves against the expectations of the traders. They create the market sentiment and act against it of the traders, and that we have to keep in mind. Now, with regard to that of the market reading, I have noted down the initial lows and the highs, which are recorded by 3:30 GMT. But in the code page, you come across yesterday's high are still maintained in the case of Euro and GBP, but I have noted down from that of the trading platform. So 1.0657, they are not breached it, even though they are trading closer to that. And the high is 1.0690, that they are not breached it. And GBP 1.2557 is the low, 1.2607 is the high, they are not breached it. And they are closer to low now. So they are all buy opportunities. And the case of yen, 104.40 is the low, 105.03 is the high. They just breached and went up to 115.06, indicating that they will gain the levels more in the case of yen and hold. Then afterwards they will gain the levels in the case of Euro and GBP. Then USD CHF 9995 is the low and 1.0010 was the initial high. They breached and went up to 1.0015, indicating that they will gain and hold the level. Then Canadian dollar 1.3087 is the low, 1.3121 is the high. 14 is the high, but they breached and they are just staying above, indicating that they will gain the levels in the case of Canadian dollar somewhere and hold it in the middle level for the week. Australian dollar 0.7524 is the low, 0.7542 is the high. They are not breached the low or the high. They are again staying closer to that of the low. So they are all great buy opportunities. So we can take a buy in the case of euro around 1.0660, and in the case of GBP 1.2560. Now you can take a buy, and yen they will make a dip or around that of 114.80. You can take a buy in the event if they don't drop much, and then later on they will gain more levels. At that time you can book profit. So these are all the recommended trades for the day, which can be tried in a demo trading platform to find the dependability of such trade calls. Now these are all the market timings. The early and the mid sessions of each of the session, they handle the majors, and the mid sessions they handle the crosses. And during that of the trend reversal, they will make more prominent moves during that of the mid sessions in the case of crosses, so that we should be able to distinguish. In between sessions, you come across the gap time. They are known to make the false move during that time. So if you got any doubt, you can ask me the questions in the question answer window. So basically, you can understand that the players have got a very systematic type of moves, and we need to recognize it. And they are all weekly moves. So we have to understand the intraday move or session-wise move, intraday move, and the weekly moves in order to trade effectively during such time frame. So the yearly trend reversal will get over with this today, and later on from next week we'll come across the monthly trend reversal, and following week we'll come across the trending move in the case of Euro and GBP as well as USD. If there are any questions, kindly ask me. I'll be willing to answer to those questions. No more question coming up. So let me conclude the webinar. Okay. Trend. So the gap time will be skipped in most cases during this time. No, gap time moves will be there, and you will come across the gap time false moves will be seen only in certain pairs, not in all. Others, they will be busy in handling the crosses. Yes, during trend reversal time, you will come across such moves. Either Euro or GBP will make the gap time false move at the time. The rest of the currencies, they will continue to make the contrarian moves in order to handle the crosses, because they have to quickly trap the traders in the crosses, and only then they will be able to earn money and show a big difference against their entry. Only then they will go in for a stop out of the trade or lose money. So if the players need to induce the traders to lose money in the case of crosses, they have to show very big difference from that of the entry and the market level. That is why they become very aggressive in a thin volume market in the case of crosses. But in the case of majors, you find the volume is relatively very high, and also you come across both the type of positions will be taken by the traders. Both long as well as short positions will be built up by the traders. So the players need to make carefully the moves so that from both the type of traders, the players should be able to earn money. So if the trader who is finding the position is very favorable and not closing it, and the profit is visible because of the greedy condition, then they will show the loss for him to book. That's what you come across many of the occasions. When you say buy near the low or sell near the high, do you mean when 15 to 23 pips near them, or could it be more? No, when they come closer to low, you can take a buy, and in the event if they don't come closer to that of the low during that of the late session, then up to about 15 to 23 pips above, you can take a buy. So you have to give importance to that of the timing, that is the early or the late sessions, to make a buy near that of the low or sell near that of the high. Then at that particular time frame, if they come closer to low, you just watch for another 10 minutes or 15 minutes whether they breach the low or not. If they just make only a false move coming closer to low and not breaching it for 30 minutes of your observation, you take a buy. So calmly trade, you'll be able to get a fine-tuned entry. And also I explained many times that when euro is around 1.0671, you can keep 1.0665 or 67 as the limit order, so that when they make a small dip, you'll be able to see that fine-tuned entry will be obtained. Any other question, please? See, when the players are smart, we should be smarter than them. And see, they have got a constraint that they have to handle all the traders in order to earn money. But we are going to focus only on our trade by reading the intentions of the players. So our task is less when compared to the players. So you have to outsmart the players and then try to earn money from that of the market. During an intentional move, can you get in the trade after the first session? Yeah, during the intentional move, you know very well that they are going to continuously rise or continuously drop for 2 sessions in the start of the 3rd session. You can take a buy near that of the low, or you can take a buy above that of the initial high. That's what I told you during that of the intentional move, when they just breach the high and stay above there for more than 30 minutes and continue to gain the level. And then the session gets over and the new session starts. Then they make the swing. What they will do, they will try to hit the stops of the traders who have taken a breakout trade. At the time, during a small dip, you can take a buy near that of the initial high. And then the market will go up. So always they will make a session start swing, irrespective of the type of move. And during that time, keep a fine-tuned entry, limit order, and get it filled. Any other question, please? Okay, fine. Anyone else? You got the question? Okay. So I take this opportunity to thank FX Street for the facilities provided to present the webinar. I'll come back on Monday and give you yet another Asian session live market analysis on the forecast webinar, explaining the session-wise forecast for the next week. And that is going to be The monthly trend reversal week, the market is going to be very volatile. The forecast might be helpful for you to decide what sort of swing trade you can focus on. Wish you all the best in your trades. See you on Monday.